What's up, players? Welcome to episode number 70 of Ready Press Play, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of video games. Every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases on all platforms, what we're playing, big topics of the industry, and the games we love. If you want to write anything to be read on the show, go to ReadyPlayNetwork.com or just hit us up at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is May 21st, 2021, and I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Mr. Daniel Lima.
You know, Louis, in 71 episodes of recording this is the first time we got the episode number wrong on the intro.
I think I got it wrong one time on like 64 or something like that. It was very sly because we copied and pasted the doc from last week and we didn't change the number. So, and which we did it again. Oh, God damn it. Anyways, whatever. Fuck you, Dan. It's your fault. I blame you. But anyways, we got special guests from level1gaming.com, the content director / one of the co-founders. It's Dallas. Man.
Man.
I had to do the head roll on there and too as well.
You got hit the D-Lo Brown on him. Man, I had a lot of fun when we did Ready Play Movies, and I already know what it's about to be this time. And I always tune in anyway, so yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Yes. Thank you for joining us on such short notice and stuff like that. It's really hard to like line up guests and things, get your ducks in a row and stuff like that, especially when you're like filling out so many invites and stuff. So you're a real one. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, we all have like full-time jobs and stuff, and time making time work and between everybody and things align can be difficult. So yeah, for sure, we really appreciate that.
Yeah. So Dallas, I know you've been on Ready Play Movies, but you haven't been on Ready Press Play here. So for all the listeners out there, just tell us about yourself. Tell us, how you got your journey going, and like just everything that makes you, a badass.
I wouldn't say all that, but let me see. Well, I'm Dallas. Yes, I'm from Dallas. I like video games, and so I make videos about them. And I like my friends, so I make videos about stuff with my friends. So me and the homies, we all started a video game website, also a YouTube, and you should pull up youtube.com/LV1Gaming20. And I'm not just saying it just to plug. I'm saying it because like I really dig what we do. It's a lot of fun, and other people seem to enjoy it. Let me see. Are we talking about how I got here? How I got to? Ooh, I wouldn't even know where to start with that. I was always a musician.
Pretty sure it started off with a sick beat or something like that, or like a good demo.
It did. So I was always a musician. I was a producer, a rapper. I played instruments, obviously. All of that good stuff. And I guess music was like what I had fun with, what I was good at, what I was doing for a living for the longest time. And I always been a gamer, just like most of us. A little more than most of us, if I'm really being honest, just because y'all know what it is. Obviously, I wouldn't be trying to do this for a living if this wasn't the greatest shit since shit was created. But I don't know, man. I ended up linking up with Fame. We became friends. He told me, "Hey, come along with me. We got this. I write for a website and blah blah blah." So I tried writing a review. It's for this game called. Shut up! I know what it is. What was this game? Speedrunners. A game called Speedrunners. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like people running, like racing on foot, like on some Batman stuff, grappling hook type stuff. I freaking hated it. I did not want to review games. And I think from between having that experience with not really liking to review games, or the reasons that I didn't like to review games, to kind of watching some of the people that I look up to in gaming, I kind of found a way somewhere in the middle of there, and now I yell at fun codes and call it a review.
Yeah, that's definitely your unique flavor and everything. Like, if for some reason, like I don't know why, but it's so hypnotizing just watching those reviews and stuff like that. They're so like Twitter like clippable kind of thing as well. By the way, I don't know if you like. Do you like how do you, when it comes to content creation and stuff like that, do you really try to like focus in on like what makes this platform like unique, or what is the strengths and stuff like that? Like, where do you like to produce a YouTube video differently than a Twitter video?
Truth be told, when it comes to making content, I just kind of do what I think is fun, and just hope people like it. But over the time, becoming content director, realizing it's just not my content that I have to worry about. I started, sort of learning about all of that. And if I had to say there was any sort of strategy, um, anything like that I implemented, it would be just, it's gonna sound corny, but A, make good content, and B, just make sure it's shareable everywhere. Like, so if somebody decides to clip something and put it on TikTok, somebody might decide to do, whatever platform somebody wants to upload it to, whatever platform I decide to upload it to. I just make sure it's good content wherever it goes.
All right, cool. Well,
That makes sense.
yeah. Content director over at Level One Gaming. You helped negotiate this deal for us to be on Level One Gaming's YouTube channel. You also were the one who I kind of like said to our audience, like, oh, I talked to some higher ups at Level One Gaming. You were
Oh,
like,
so
you were the
that's who you're
higher up.
talking
Yeah,
about.
you were the higher up.
The
Where I was
higher up,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, we're doing premieres now. So, in case you guys didn't know, we do premieres every Saturday at 5 p.m. Central, and whatever time zone you are in, like 6 o'clock East Coast, 3 o'clock Pacific, all that stuff. You could do the conversions, but yeah, 5 o'clock is now our time where I'm just gonna, stick my the flag on this spot here because I can always be in the chat because I am able to be in the chat at that time. So we have the Level One Gaming YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Of course, if you're watching this, you're already there. Boom, give us a like. I'm probably in the chat right now if you're watching the premiere. Maybe Dallas too.
You know, most of these people that watch these videos don't actually subscribe. So yeah, go ahead and make that happen up
Yeah.
there somewhere.
You
Yeah.
guys got all the plugs covered.
Yes. One last plug here is actually an anti-plug, actually, because yeah, it's actually, I guess I'm going to just put you on blast, Dan, but it's your birthday sometime soon. I'm not going to say what day it is, but because
Oh
it's your
yeah.
birthday, we're not going to be doing a normal Twitch stream on Sunday. So I may or may not do a solo stream on Sunday on the Ready Press Play Twitch, but at least I'm not promising you anything, but at least this coming Sunday, it's in flux, but we're not going to be doing a It Takes Two stream, at least this coming Sunday. So. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You said an anti-plug, and then you mentioned my name, and I totally forgot where this was going. I thought you were about to kick me off the podcast or something. Like, hey, it's just me and Dallas from now on. Get out.
Man,
Yeah, but I did put you on blast though. But I guess whatever.
Yeah, it's good.
good shit though. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Me and the wife are gonna go out and drive somewhere, do something. We don't have it all fleshed out yet, but yeah, we're probably gonna leave on Saturday. I'm taking 2 days off work, Monday, Tuesday, and just kind of try to be out somewhere, do something fun, and then come back. Just kind of get away for a little bit. Sometimes that's good when you've been in the same place for too long, especially when I spend so much of my time in this room. So
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, with all those pleasantries out of the way, let's go ahead and get into brass tacks here. It's time for topic of the show. So, for topic of the show this week, we were looking for to talk about Xbox. We did it last week with PlayStation, and oh yeah, look, let me just there we go. See, I'm shilling too. So this is my Ori and the Blind Forest shirt. That's the only
nice.
Microsoft product that I have.
I have two, I guess you can call them Microsoft shirts, and I would never wear either of them in public. One is Crackdown 3.
Oh no.
And yeah, I back when we could, I used to frequent conventions. So the other one is Mixer.
I didn't catch that. What was it?
Yeah,
Mixer.
exactly.
Mixer.
Exactly.
Oh fuck, Mixer. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
You
mind.
tell
You know
how long
what?
ago,
We just pour one out for Mixer, I guess. I don't know, man.
man.
Did you actually ever use that, Dallas? Did you ever stream on Mixer or do anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Um,
I don't think I've ever met anybody who did actually, but
I know somebody who did. I know one person
Okay.
who did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know of a couple.
But now he's big on Twitch now, so he ported
Mm.
his audience. But anyways, I was gonna say that the topic of the show for this week is gonna be all about Xbox. So it's Xbox's turn. We did PlayStation last week, and you definitely go check it out. I'll probably like a card somewhere over there. And yeah, so for Xbox, we're going to talk about everything Xbox. How are they doing for this generation so far? What are our predictions about how they will do? Is there even going to be a winner of the generation? Things about what's going on in the first party scene, all that stuff. Basically, we're going to sort of like kind of like look into read the tea leaves for like the next 5 years or so. Dallas, I hope you're up to the challenge for that.
I'll try. Let's see what's up.
All right. So the first big story that we got going on here for Xbox is apparently I don't know if this is like rumors or something confirmed because I haven't really been paying attention, but apparently Starfield won't be on PlayStation 5. So yeah, let me read this article here. This comes from VentureBeat. It says Microsoft has no plans to release Bethesda's upcoming space role-playing adventure Starfield on Sony's competing PlayStation 5 console. This that shouldn't surprise too many people after Xbox boss Phil Spencer said in March that Microsoft acquired Bethesda to add exclusives to Xbox Game Pass. But I've separately confirmed that this situation applies to Starfield through sources familiar with the decision. But some people keep asking about Starfield on PS5 because they don't have insight into Microsoft's reasoning. While Sony or Nintendo would certainly keep new acquisitions locked to their platform, Xbox has a history of playing nice. Minecraft, for example, is still getting support on PlayStation and Nintendo platforms. Microsoft even released the new Minecraft Dungeons game on PS5 and Switch. So why wouldn't Microsoft do the same for Bethesda games? So I guess I'll stop it there here. So Dallas, you see this article, you see this news. What's
You
your
know
take?
why. You know why. Like, I mean, I can understand like some games, it's just sort of expected that it will be multiplayer. I mean, at the same time, it would have been expected that a sports game like MLB would have been until now, but whatever. The point I'm making is let them get their money's worth. Like, just let them get their money's worth. You spend that much money on anything, you're gonna expect to get some personal use out of it, right? You're gonna say, I spent all my money on these toys. Nobody gets to play with them until I'm done. So even if all of this stuff is not exclusive forever, even if it's like time exclusive, a year or two, something like that, it would make perfect sense at this point. Now let me tell the whole truth. I would expect any Elder Scrolls game to be on every platform I could possibly play it on because y'all had freaking Skyrim on a Nokia Engage, so I better get it on PlayStation at some point, right? Um, but I mean, I wholeheartedly expect them to like play with their toys first.
Okay. All right. Dan?
Well, I'm of the mind, and I've always said this in this show that I don't think exclusives are a good thing necessarily. Like I think that when games are available to more platforms and more people can play them, that's generally good and better for the industry and for the players. But at the same time, I would say that about PlayStation as I do about Microsoft, and I'm consistent in that position. And the thing that pisses me off the most is how PlayStation fanboys will be very selective about their outrage towards things. So like they're totally cool when Sony does it. And then, or you know, if Sony buys a company, it's expected that all the games from that point on are going to be exclusive to PlayStation, are not even going to be on PC. And the people that are all about Sony and PlayStation are like, yeah, awesome, great. And then the moment Microsoft tries to do the same and fight back using the same weapons, really, then those same PlayStation fanboys in quotes will go like, "Oh no, that's not fair. You know, Starfield. We should get Starfield on PlayStation, etc." And I feel like that double standard is bullshit. I feel like you see it a lot with the whole console war environment that we see sometimes on the internet. So I understand, you know, it's a business decision that makes sense, you know, and it's better for Microsoft to make something exclusive to Xbox that you can still play on PC most likely than for PlayStation to make something exclusive on PlayStation and that's the only platform where you can get it. It's locked behind, you know, that $500 console purchase. Now, whether I find this expected or not, I was originally off the mind that the Bethesda games would probably remain multi-plat. I feel like this indicates that not all of them will, which I think was already hinted at before. But yeah, I still would be surprised if Elder Scrolls and maybe the next Doom and those games did not come out on PlayStation as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I actually, when you said that about whenever like Xbox buys exclusives, the first thing I thought of was the Tomb Raider. Whenever it was like the
Mm.
second, I want to say the second Tomb Raider
Yeah,
on the
Rise of the
trilogy.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider when it was like a 1 year exclusive, and also they were very quiet about the 1 year exclusive part because they didn't really want to advertise that. But they were like, oh yeah, we went ahead and bought the contract with Crystal Dynamics, and everyone was in a tizzy. But yeah, I don't know. I think business perspective, I would say if I were running this shit and like just completely like it's my say so, I would basically
Mm.
make it exclusive for 1 year and get all the Game Pass subscriptions and all that stuff and whatever sales you want to make or on PC or Xbox, and then don't tell anybody it's 1 year exclusive. Just say it's exclusive and just shut up about the whole 1 year thing. And then like 2 months before it comes out to PlayStation, then you start making your PR blitz and your second launch or whatever the hell, and make even more money with publishing rights or whatever. So yeah, that's me though.
Yeah, man. But you said it though. They got to give people a reason for Game Pass. There's got to be something there that you can't get anywhere else. Otherwise, why would it attract people other than the massive deal? But um, you gotta give people a reason to want that over anything else.
Yeah, and what I bring up on the show sometimes is that I love Game Pass and I'm a subscriber and I think it is a great deal, but it's not for everybody, and that's the thing is that if when you add up, if you're paying for Game Pass Ultimate and you're doing that, $15 a month for a whole year, it adds up to like $180 or something. So with that, you could buy, if you're buying games on sale, you could buy a lot of games with $180. So it's really meant for the kind of people that want to try a lot of different genres of games and want to play, like 50 different games in the year. If there are like 5 games you want to play this year, then there's not necessarily really that much value to if on Game Pass for you. So yeah, I totally get that.
All right. So, Dan, I see that you brought some analytics to the table here. So, didn't even know that these numbers are out there, but apparently there's some kind of estimates. I guess some analyst firm kind of thing put out there that the Switch is going to increase year over year, and the PS5 or sorry, the Switch sell through increased year over year from 2020 to 2021, and the the PS5 outsells the Xbox Series X and S 2 to 1 for the first quarter of 2021. And there's like a little handy dandy pretty little chart here that has the Xbox Series at 1.3 million and then the PlayStation 5 at 2.8 million. So that's kind of, it makes it kind of feel very small, especially because the PS5 launch. I'm guessing more sell through happened in like November and stuff. But I even made a prediction like last year when we did a prediction special where I said that the PS5 would outsell at 2 to 1. Does this make me right, Dan?
Yeah, let me add something here. So if you look on IGN or like any other, probably level one gaming as well. If you guys covered this yet, I'm not sure. That a lot of sites are running with the story where it's like, hey, PlayStation 5 is outselling Xbox 2 to 1, and on this year. And I looked at the source, and this is the source. So this is what I was able to find that like all these websites are getting their info from. Now, I'm not sure how reliable the source is. I had never heard of this before, impair analysis or whatever. But it seems like they have some data that's indicating that so far in 2021. So this doesn't mean total console sales, just the last, the first 3 months of the year. That PS5 outsold Xbox 2 to 1, and that the Switch outsold both of them combined, and almost outsold like PS5 2 to 1 as well. So I thought it was interesting. There's a lot of people talking about it, but I do want to bring the caveat that like I did not necessarily, there's no Gary. It is not NPD as far as I know, right? So, but before, yeah, I guess that would make you right, Lewis. If those numbers are true, that would make you right, and that would make me wrong because I predicted that Xbox would get closer and close the gap to PlayStation sales.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that you. I don't know. I think whenever I made the prediction, you made me even go even ballsier, and I think I even changed it up to 2.5 or 3 to 1. So I don't know. I don't remember that prediction special that we did, but I just wanted to throw that out there that another one of those hashtag Lewis was right moments and stuff. So yeah, pat myself on the back on that one. Dallas, are you in any way surprised by these numbers?
No. Not even a little. I mean, it's the Switch, man. as much as some grown adults on Twitter want to act like they too grown for Nintendo games, it's freaking Nintendo. Every child out there wants to play Mario, or every man child out there wants to play Mario. If you really, want to be honest about it, yeah, it don't surprise me in the least.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just surprised by the lack of the come up though, because I feel like with Xbox being in such a good position as far as like PR and marketing and like being so what is it called, consumer friendly, and everyone's cheering on Game Pass. I figured that things would have been that more parity level, and I don't know if it's demand or is supply. I don't know. What do you think in Dallas? Do you think Xbox just can't manufacture as many as Sony?
Well, I thought something similar to what you just said about the PS5. I thought it would be I thought it was going to be freaking, like you said, parody level. But I mean, especially considering as much as you want to talk about like Xbox and the PR, you got to give it to PlayStation, because there's no better than PR, no better PR than freaking Instagram and Twitter. It's not gonna be any better PR than funny ass memes. Like when it comes down to it, and think about all just before the PS5 dropped. Think about all the young men with old lady memes you've seen just floating around the internet. Think about how many people shared that. Think about how in the back of their minds that's telling them the PlayStation 5 is valuable and I want one. Um, I mean, but I mean, it also makes sense seeing as how a lot of us couldn't get our hands on them. But yeah, I just thought with all the memes floating around with the mind share that PlayStation had at the time, that it would have sold closer to the Switch.
Yeah. Dan?
Yeah, I will say that I thought Xbox did a good job with the meme game as well this gen. Like they were the meme last gen, and then this gen
They
I
made a
felt like they did a better
refrigerator
job.
for crying out loud.
Yeah,
But look at that though. One meme is roasting yourself for something that's low key true, and the other one is telling people subconsciously that your product is the thing to have.
right. No, that's a good point. And I will say that the thing with Sony too is that there's this inertia effect where people were so invested in the PS4 console environment, and people keep using the word ecosystem and things like that. So they have their friends on PS4, they have their accounts on PS4, they have all their digital games on PS4. It's a much easier transition to just go and buy the PS5. So I feel like Sony is going to enjoy like an advantage, not only because of their own merit for the PS5, but also because of their own merit for the PS4, creating this inertia that just remains on the PS5, right? It was easier to switch consoles in previous generations, especially when you didn't have backwards compatibility, when the consoles were cheaper, and etc. And I feel like right now it's such an investment. People are so invested in their own platforms that they're less likely to switch.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and move on to the next little tidbit of story here. This kind of goes along with what I wanted to talk about next, anyways, with regards to the Xbox. It says here that the Xbox Series X and S insiders are getting Dolby Vision HDR soon, which I'm pretty sure the PS5 may already have, if I'm not mistaken, because I want to say I saw all the Dolby Vision on the PS5 when toggling the HDR settings and stuff like that. But yeah, it says here that they're gonna start rolling out the Dolby Vision gaming. Oh shit. Okay, maybe not. Okay, I never heard of Dolby Vision gaming, but there you go. To the Xbox Series X and S consoles registered to users that are part of the Xbox Insider program, which is Xbox Insiders is for people that are basically the guinea pigs, like the beta users for like the next patch, the next forthcoming patch here. So Dallas, are you excited for that? I don't know. You just got your Xbox, right? Yeah, cool.
Yep. But it's an Xbox One X, not a Series X.
Oh,
So,
what a.
um, because I was dumb enough to tell myself, and I'm probably still dumb because I still feel like that. That once I do finally hop over in the next gen, it's gonna be PS5 first.
Okay.
Interesting.
There's just more that I want. Truth be told, I know for a fact there's at least one game that I cannot wait for the Series X, but I can wait to get the console until they announce the game. So,
And which game is that? I gotta know.
Hellblade 2.
Oh, yeah.
Surprised
I
it
wonder
wasn't
how
Halo.
far off that is. Oh.
I gotta catch up in Halo before I get too excited for Infinite.
Okay.
Now that I have Xbox, I can play through them. I'm on 3 now, so
Oh,
Cool.
that's more progress than me and Dan have made. We've only beat the first one.
Yeah.
All right.
Which we should start playing 2 together soon,
I
Lewis.
know, dude. We got too many on the bucket list. I think we got to play. Ratchet and Clank comes out in what 2-3 weeks from now, and I gotta somehow figure that out if I'm gonna beat the first game. Which we even talked about doing a spoiler cast for that before, but I think that ship might have sailed.
You got to play that first one. It's good.
So I just wanted to go ahead and just close things out, and just sort of talk about like the first 6 months of Xbox, because we've basically now 6 months removed from the launch, because today's May 20th. It launched on November 20th, so 6 months to the day actually. And I've had it since day one. I was fortunate enough to get it day one. Surprisingly, it hasn't even felt like 6 months. I don't know why, but I just don't feel like I game enough to warrant having any of my consoles. I feel like for like the first month or two, I was using it as a streaming machine. But not all that notwithstanding, I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs to the Xbox. Number one, they were quick. They were first to have all these, the four primary colors: black, white, blue, and red. To market. That's number one. And number two, they finally have a proprietary Xbox headset, which I don't even know if they had a first-party headset for the Xbox One lifecycle. So,
Which I hear is really good, by the way, and I'm looking into it because I do need a headset like that, and it's always sold out. I haven't figured out how to get it yet. Yeah. So and I hear it's because it's just a really good product for the price. So it's $99, and it's one of those things apparently where if you're willing to spend more, you can get better headsets, but for $99, it's one of the best you can get for in that particular price range. So I think that's really cool. Um and I guess I kind of interrupted, Liz, but I just want to add that I've also had the Series X, and it was my first Xbox console ever. Actually, I got a 360 that used to be my sister's, and she gave it to me eventually. But it was the first time that I was straight up going out of my way to go get an Xbox console, and it's my only next gen console so far because I haven't gotten a PS5 yet. And I love it. I am in love with Quick Resume. I think it's hard to go back to not having that now. Being able to just kind of jump between games and to be playing something, play something else, and not have to worry about load times ever. Have it go straight to where I last left it without even having to load a save or anything. I really like Game Pass. I've gotten into the habit of like game surfing on Game Pass, basically, where I'll jump into a game and I'll play it for a bit, and I'll be having a good time, but maybe on the same day, but most likely like a few weeks later, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go find something else, and then I'll find something else, and being able to do that, I think it's a really cool experience, and the way that Game Pass works with quick resume and the fastest load times of the SSD and all that, I feel like makes the experience of using the console very good. Despite the fact that there hasn't been, I mean, the one major release that you can't play anywhere else is the Medium.
yes.
And it's been regarded as an okay game as far as I can tell. I played for about 2 hours, didn't really get into it that much. But yeah, so far I feel positive about Xbox this generation.
Dallas, any shout outs for the Xbox?
Okay, so y'all just heard me talk about Hellblade a second ago. I don't have an Xbox yet, but Series X yet, but it's I can guarantee you once they start showing the games that I want, which I know are coming, and then the studios that they have with them, I'm just gonna pick stuff up just because I can. If you really want to know, I've kind of really been diving head first in the Game Pass. And okay, so before that, I was on Game Pass for PC a lot, right? I didn't realize how much it opened up on console. Like I really didn't understand how much was there. Um, and then okay, you weren't really super into the medium. A lot of people that I talked to weren't really super into it. But it looks like the type of stuff that I like to play. Um, like I don't know how much about it that I won't like, but I mean, it's early generation. I'm um not really thinking I'm just getting the biggest shit moving right now. Um, point is I'm kind of eager to play it. And it's probably going to be one of the first right behind whatever I bought it for, probably Hellblade, that I play on my Series X.
All right, cool. I want to finish giving my shout outs to the Xbox as well, as far as um, I want to give a shout out to Smart Delivery. I feel like people don't talk about it, but One of the things that people talk about as far as the PlayStation side is sometimes it installs like the PS4 version of the PS4 when you get a
Hmm.
PS5. It's like that's like a little like not a problem, but more of like an inconvenience. Whereas with Xbox, it's so streamlined that you don't even have to think about it. You just download the game and it downloads the correct version, and you get your save imported like pretty seamlessly, and you don't have to worry about like manually transferring saves and making sure everything is compatible and everything's good. You just get the best version that you have for your machine, and I think I like that. It makes things much more simple. I actually want to say that I've gotten used to the interface more. Like I've been using the Xbox enough to like be able to like seamlessly navigate to and from wherever I want to go pretty quickly, pretty seamlessly. And with the SSD, that it's just not as slow as the Xbox One because I had the Xbox VCR, and it's when I go back to like use the Xbox One, I had to use it one time because like my parents wanted to stream something in their room, and I'm like, I know what, I'm just gonna give them the VCR model so that way they can stream. And it was so like slow, and I just felt this, just the cursor movement was so slow, and I just took for granted what it's like on the series. And I also want to just give another shout out to a shout out and an anti shout out to the little memory cards that you put on the back of the series. It's good that they have a storage solution that PlayStation didn't have at launch, but it's also expensive, so it's an anti shout out as well. So yeah.
You know, I lied. There was something else I had to say. Now that we because okay, you shouting out smart delivery. First, I'm gonna say um Xbox has done the transition or is doing the transition from last gen to this beautiful.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
and not just that, I've seen them do things that I continuously turn around and because I was a PlayStation kid pretty much my whole life. Last Xbox I owned was an OG. Um so like I continuously have been seeing them do things that I'm like, all right, Sony, you do it. Game Pass being a big one of them. Like, go ahead and integrate PS Now and a PS Plus. Why not? But they have done one other thing that I really care about beautifully, and that's backwards compatibility. They've done that so right. Um,
FPS
I mean,
boost for the win.
I'm one of those people that go back and play old games. Like I still have the PS3 and I actually play it. I still have a bunch of old consoles and I still play them, right? Um, and that's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to me that I was able to get into Xbox at the time that I did, and can go back and play the games that I missed.
Yeah. I think it's almost like such a huge selling point for Xbox when you think about it, the fact that if you buy for instance, if you buy the Switch, right, you have this one generation of Nintendo games and whatever they decide to port over where you got to buy it again or for $60 and or whatever they put on their NES service, etc. But for the most part, you got this generation. If you buy a PS5, you got the PS5 generation and then the PS4 generation, and that's it. But if you buy an Xbox Series X, you literally have access to all generations of Xbox on one console. And I know there's exceptions to it. Not every single game is backwards compatible, but the majority of the big ones, as far as I can tell, are. So I think that's really cool, especially for a newcomer to the Xbox environment, to be able to go, hey, there might not be a lot of big new, games that are coming out for the Xbox right now. But if you buy this machine, you can buy you can play any Xbox game ever. And a lot of them are on Game Pass, which is the subscription that's relatively cheap compared to maybe other subscriptions and stuff. And you can play all those games with a great hardware that honestly it's worth a lot more than it's being priced for, even because you can't get a PC that play games to that quality for $500. That's for certain. So I think
Can't even get a
that's a great
GPU.
deal too.
You can't even get a GPU that plays those games at that quality for $500.
Man,
And you look at their first party, their family of first party studios right now, and it's insane. It's like they have double as many studios as Sony, and we got to see how they're going to manage them and whether they're going to be able to come out with good stuff over the next few years. But I would keep saying this in this podcast, which is that if Xbox is able to manage these studios well and like schedule them out throughout the next few years and make sure all the projects are on track and on time and all that stuff, we could be looking at a situation where they just have banger after banger after banger every year across all these different studios. So I'm really hoping that that's the case.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant about that. I think that you're right about the banger after banger, but I don't even think it's going to happen till the earliest is 2024. They're not going to have a Nintendo 2017 year until at least then. But
Yeah, it might take a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, so I just wanted to yeah, to finish out this topic here by sort of like prognosticating outwards and stuff like that, and we talk about predictions and stuff like that. So the only thing I can say as far as like predictions go is like I don't. I'm so like hesitant to say this, and I feel like I don't want to get flack for this, but I think Xbox might come in third place behind PlayStation and Nintendo, and this chart already proved it. Even though you can be operating on all cylinders and all your the engines are revving, and I don't know if you're ever gonna truly just take market share away from the other two companies that are so firmly rooted and established. You know what I mean? Unless we're talking about a virtual three-way tie. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think, Dallas?
Um, I think something resembling a three-way tie is possible. Um, like Dan said, if they do banger after banger after banger, the games are gonna speak for themselves. The only reason that I didn't own an Xbox One sooner was because I didn't see the games coming. The only thing that got me to it was Game Pass. Um, so if I can see all these first party games like that, I think they started picking up studios years ago, right? Who knows what they were already working on?
Yeah.
So who knows how soon we might actually have something substantial. I think that's it's very possible that they could at least compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Halo Infinite, Perfect Dark, Hellblade 2, Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, and whatever the next Doom is, Minecraft, like all this stuff is Xbox now, right? So we'll have to see how it goes and what the timeline looks like. But and about what you said, Lewis, it depends on what parameter you're looking at, right? Console sales, yeah, I could see Xbox being third. They could switch it around, but most likely right now it seems like they might be third place again, but I feel like there are other parameters as well, and I feel like they care. I mean, at the end of the day, selling consoles makes you lose money, right? Like they've already confirmed that both Xbox and PlayStation are being sold at a loss. So selling more consoles does not necessarily mean making more money, and I feel like that's where it's going to get interesting. It's like who is making more money, because Microsoft has Game Pass and all that other stuff as well.
Yeah, but
So
also
we'll
Microsoft
see.
had took in the biggest investment when they just threw down just
Yeah.
truckloads of cash at a time here, especially at the onset of the generation. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say as far as like Xbox goes. I would say the future is looking brighter than it did on the Xbox One days, and I had an Xbox One, so
You
from
just
like
said
what's up?
my bad. You just said exactly what I was going to say because look like over the last few years the sort of press that Xbox has had, and look at the press they have now.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
yeah, it's the glow up is real.
Yeah, Phil Spencer should have been not running Xbox since before Don Matrick, fucked it up. So it is kind of a situation where it does feel like they were paying for E3 2013 all these years and stuff like that, and they're barely just now able to, brush their shoulders off, kind of thing. It's kind of the reason why Nintendo had to, distance themselves from the Wii U so quickly as they did. So I guess a new console generation, just wipes away all of the sins and stuff like that. So.
But Nintendo didn't really have to worry about it because they also had a DS out, like 3 different DSs out. Um,
That's true.
That is
so
true.
they were just fine the whole time.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap up Dallas. I almost said Dan. I don't know why, but let's go ahead and wrap up Dallas here with sharing the love.
Man, that's what
Yes.
heaven sounds like in the Stranger Things universe.
Yeah, sharing the love is a segment where we talk about games we love, and we always make sure to have a point to do the segment whenever we have a guest on. So, Dallas, I want you to take it away and regale us with a game that you grew up with, and yeah, just have fun with
You
it.
know, there are so many games, but okay, so I'm gonna mention two really quickly. One, um, unless you are our age, don't go back and try to play this because it did not age well. But it deserves some props and it don't get nearly as much love as it deserves. The Matrix: Path of Neo on PS2. Um, Now I can understand why people might not have dug it. Like you would think they should dig it because they also play Enter the Matrix, and Enter the Matrix, boiled booty sweat. I did not like it. But there's just something. It makes you Neo. It sends you through all the movies, and if you are a fan of the Matrix, like I'm a fan of the Matrix, then you know what it is. If you're a fan of martial arts, the way I'm a fan of martial arts, then you know what it is. And then that game did things that games on PlayStation 2 just were not doing. For example, y'all seen the Matrix? Y'all seen all the Matrix movies, right? I take y'all as movie people. You remember the Merovingian mansion? It was like a hall, and then there was stairs on both sides, and it was weapons all on the wall.
Yeah.
You could literally pick up each weapon, every different, and there was different types of weapons. Like there was like poles and swords and katanas and sights and all of that, right? And each weapon had a whole separate moveset. This is PS2.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Same thing with the guns. You got a slightly different move set when fight with guns out than you do when you don't. And it also kind of connected the movies in a way that literally made everything canon. They made vampires. Literally made vampires canon in the Matrix and made it not stupid. I mean not stupid by PS2 era standards. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I got to give it to Matrix: Path of Neo because I'm old.
Doesn't that like canonically tell you what happens to Neo after Matrix 3? Or no? Am I mistaken?
No, because once it ends, like right when you get to the final boss, they're like, look, this is how we ended the movies, but that shit don't work in a video game, so this is what we doing now. So it definitely veers off into its own thing at the final boss. I just spoiled a like 50-year-old game. So okay, so second, I gotta give it to Resident Evil. And it's more than just what the games are, even though I enjoyed every game up till 6, up till 5, because I'm not gonna lie, as much as people complain about 6, I liked 5 less. And truth be told, the least of every other Resident Evil game I played, but we're not gonna talk about that today. It's because it spawned so much other stuff that I was so into. For example, Resident Evil 2. No, not Resident Evil broke off into Onimusha, which is another series that you shouldn't try to go back and play because I don't know how those tank controls aged. But
wait. Onimusha is related to I thought those two series were completely unrelated to each other.
They tried to make a feudal Japan Resident Evil, and it was a little more actiony than they thought it was supposed to be, but they wanted to keep it, so it ended up being Onimusha. Think about it. It was literally developed the exact same way. The medicine and stuff was the same, like herbs. The way they did the puzzles was everything they did was the Capcom stuff, you know. But yeah,
it was. I think there was a similar story with Devil May Cry, by the way. So
that's the next thing I was going to say, and then Devil May Cry. And one of my top 5 games of all time has got to be like Devil May Cry 3. Once again, because I'm old, but Devil May Cry 3 is why 5 was as dope as it was. So I got to give it to Resident Evil because it spawned so much stuff that I like, but I also couldn't not shine a light on Path of Neo.
Okay. Oh, so
awesome.
That's a 2-for-1 because I think that's literally like the first time we've ever had a 2-for-1 on sharing the love. By the way.
Yeah, man. And so don't have a RPG episode or we'll never get out of here.
Okay. All right. So Dallas, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of the show and do everything. And I'll let you go ahead and sign yourself out as far as like doing all your plugs, talk about Peep Game, Level 1, all that stuff. Whatever you wanna shout out.
Man, LV1Gaming.com on YouTube. You already in the right place, but I'm gonna say it anyway. LV1Gaming20. Go ahead and subscribe because I know you're not. As I say that, we run 6 shows a week. Monday, 15 Minutes of Fame. Yes, he's back doing it. Tuesday, Take Two. No, dang, what's Tuesday?
Cogs in a Machine.
Cogs in a Machine is Tuesday. Wednesday, Double XP. Thursday, Take Two. Friday, Peep Game. All the intros are fire because I did them. All the Peep Game intros are a different sample flip every week. Hit me up on Twitter, DallazMan. If you want to suggest a sample that should be flipped, your favorite video game, movie,
I want you to like personally email me like the intro for episode 18 because I was straight up looking for that Streets of Rage song, but then I realized that you remixed it yourself because I was like, man, this song is fire, and I can't find it anywhere.
I'll find it. It's one of the old Streets of Rage games. I think one. I have to go find it, but I got you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So we like doing super creative stuff like that. I'm with that hip hop stuff, so I kind of trap out everything. And that's pretty much it. If you want to find me anywhere on the internet, is DallazMan, all the same, DallazMan.
Yeah, if you just point just south right here, your Twitter handle is right there where you're pointing.
Right
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pull up and just watch for all the nonsense that we'll drop at Level 1 Gaming.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, dude.
All right, man. Peace, y'all.
Peace, peace.
See ya, dude. So, Liz, do you want to just keep going
Yeah, I have.
from here?
We have. I was able to just seamlessly transition to the to our normal overlay, that we normally do.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Good job. Good job on that one.
But yeah, so that we have a whole rest of the show to go. But yes, let's go ahead and before we
There's
go.
actually not a lot left.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on the doc where there's no normal news, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I just want to say, what a nice guy, what a nice gentleman. Like,
Yeah. That was the first time that I interacted with him, I think. And I did listen to him on your Ready Play Movies episode, and I thought that was a pretty good show. And it was very nice to meet him and nice to talk offline as well before we went live about some of the games he's into. So
yes,
good shit.
All right. So I guess this warrants it here. Let's go ahead and play the sound effect. There's no top news. It's all extra news. It's all extra news. All right, let's go ahead and get to it here. It says here, number 1, Sony released a patch for The Last of Us 2 on PS5, supporting a frame rate of 60 frames per second. Number 2, the wildly popular fighting game Injustice: Gods Among Us is getting an animated movie adaptation. Number 3, Sony has filed a patent for a platform that would allow users to bet on esports using physical currency, Bitcoin, or even in-game items. Number 4, GTA 5 and GTA Online will receive PS5 and Xbox Series X and S versions on November 11th. And Rockstar has promised surprises, quote, surprises, related to the upcoming 20th anniversary of GTA 3. Number 5, NVIDIA is releasing a new variant of RTX 3060 graphics cards in May, which should make the process of mining cryptocurrency more difficult. We've covered a story similar like this before in the past. God damn it. Okay, hopefully opening up availability for consumers interested in gaming. Number 6.
I wanted to, just sorry to interject, but I will interject. So I grabbed that headline from Tech Radar. That's not the headline, but that was like what I gathered from the article, actually. And the thing that was interesting that I thought kind of added some context, some flavor to this, is that their take on it is that this will make so that people that only want to build like Bitcoin mining PCs will not be going for the graphics card anymore, and therefore it should make it better for the people that want to buy it for its intended purpose, which is gaming. So it might actually be a good thing for gamers, so.
Okay. All right, and number 6, Take-Two Interactive announced plans to release a total of 21 games between now and its end of its fiscal year. Wow, that's pretty ballsy. Although that doesn't seem to include GTA 6. Aw.
Yeah, so I'm curious what those are. This came from like an earnings call, and I was trying to remember which one of us picked Take-Two, because I know one of us did for our little game, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, what I wonder, sometimes companies do this where they'll count a game with different versions as different games. So I wonder if that means potentially like, it's like NBA 2K 2022 it counts as like 5 games because it's coming out to like 5 different platforms or something. I don't know. I just can't think of that many franchises that are under Take-Two, but maybe I'm just missing stuff, right? Like 2K, Rockstar is just GTA and Red Dead and stuff, but 2K themselves do have a lot of stuff, so we'll see. And I didn't update the doc,
So
you're updating it right now.
Nah, I'm just
Forgot to update that
my
part.
OCD. But
Yeah.
I will say this: there is something that I did see, like Spawn, the YouTube channel Spawnwave covered this, where apparently there was like this. I don't know if it's like a small, like very contained issue, or if this is something widespread. He didn't know, but basically, there was some reports going around that certain physical cartridges of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are no longer working. So if you actually like put the cartridge into the 3DS and then you open it up, the 3DS will not have the game on display for you to click on. So
I've actually, I'm gonna take that somewhere else. I was reading articles not too long ago about how apparently those cartridges, those DS and 3DS cartridges, are supposed to have a lifespan of, I think, at most 15 years. And so a lot of people are now theorizing, and this, there's people that dispute this and stuff. It's not like a certain thing, but there's a lot of people that are theorizing that soon we're gonna have all DS games stop working, basically, and that soon after that it's gonna be all 3DS games within the next 10 years.
Holy shit.
So it's like, and then it will be like a nightmare for collectors. But
oh my god, my physical
I'm not sure.
DS collection.
Yes. So just wanted to throw that out there. It's, apparently there's no reason to panic yet because it's not like a certain thing, but there's a suspicion that that's going to happen. That there's going to be like a DS game apocalypse with the cartridges all stop working. Yeah.
Like a little mini apocalypse that happened with Super Nintendo cartridges and Game Boy cartridges when the battery inside died and all your saves were wiped and stuff, and then you had to manually open up the cartridge and solder in a new battery.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, like things like Legend of Zelda on the Super Nintendo, or even Legend of Zelda on the NES. It has a battery save, and yeah, it's just like one of those little circle batteries. So you just have to like just swap it out because if it dies, it can't hold the save. And a lot of Game Boy games like Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, you just have to like check for a new battery a lot of times. Sometimes people just use electrical tape, but whatever. Tangent aside, this is going to be a similar situation where like there's going to be a lifespan with these flash memory cards because it's literally flash memory, and they're just going to stop working, and it's going to suck. Especially because like I wonder which one will last, which one will live longer. A physical copy of like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, or a digital copy on a working 3DS. You know what I mean? Like, and that's gonna suck. And also, like when it comes to like 3DS digital games, it's usually like tied to a profile / hardware. Like it's like hardware specific and stuff. Generally speaking. So yeah, I don't know. I am very much like a little bit like it like demystifies physical game collecting for me, where it's like it's all about having like the physical cartridge like that it can't be taken away. Well, turns out it can be.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens with that. The truth is, all of those things just validate how important it is to have game preservation efforts, even if it's in the piracy scene, be able to have those ROMs available as emulators and etc. Because who knows, maybe 5 years from now, as early as 5 years from now, the only way you're going to be able to play most DS games is going to be through emulators. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, get yourselves an R4 card. There you go. Just put it on a micro SD card and everything. But that, and also, damn, what was I going to say about this? Apparently, and this is all rumored, going back to the story about the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, it was also another like Persona 5 3DS game or whatever. Like it was like this, I think whatever version they made for the 3DS. It's not the actual Persona 5.
Yeah, Persona Q was the one that they had.
Yeah, that's the one. So they also said that it was produced, like the production run happened around the same time. Speculation is that that they're a bad batch of like a defect or something like that. So
like the Star Wars show.
Hey, there you go. Now you're talking. But so yeah, we totally veered off from all of this stuff. I just wanted to say, number one, Last of Us. I saw the IGN like gameplay capture of it. It looked badass, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very enticing. Like, I just want to give another shout out to the gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2. As much as I don't like the story, the gameplay, pretty good. It's actually a step up over Last of Us 1. So.
Yeah, I saw people talk shit about that recently. It happened to come up in my feed a few times where people were basically shitting on The Last of Us 2's gameplay, or like making fun of people that complimented it, and I think that's completely insane because it's such a step up from Last of Us
Yes,
Part One.
I
So
do. I agree. I don't know why. I don't just completely. It's a perfectly fine evolution of it.
yeah,
Um, Number two, I'm so excited for an Injustice animated movie. Like DC tends to make really good animated movies over Marvel and stuff like that. So like ever since they did like Flashpoint Paradox. So I'm very much interested to see how they pull this off. If what's kind of crazy is like I can already see an Injustice movie. It's a CGI animated movie. You can just take the movie from the game and just
I
take
was
the
gonna say,
fights
isn't
out.
that just the story mode in the game, right? Like, doesn't that game? I've actually never played Injustice, but doesn't that game isn't that game famous for having a really good story mode? I think.
Yes, it's an
Yeah.
amazing story mode, as a matter of fact. But yeah, and then like they do the thing where like they seamlessly transition into your fights and stuff like that, and then the fights results go and you go to the next cutscene. So I wonder, I don't know, like I wonder if they're gonna like just sort of like deviate because generally speaking, these animated movies tend to be 90 minutes anyways, or 80 minutes at the low end. So I wonder whether they're gonna just trim the fat or streamline certain things. But yeah. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about as far as extra news and stuff like that. I couldn't even think. I think it was a bit of a slow news week, I would say.
It definitely was. I even kind of stretched a little bit to find things to put in the doc, honestly, because so what I always do when I'm looking for stories for the show is that I go on my Feedly, not sponsored, which is like a little like feed aggregator, and I follow all these gaming websites, and then I just go through the list, and you can see on Feedly like how many clicks an article had, basically like how many hits.
Mhm.
So I intentionally like filter out like I never want to pick like for instance like IGN, right? Like they're good art, like their big articles get thousands and thousands of hits. So if I see an article that got like 20 hits from IGN, it's like that's probably not something people care about, so I don't include it in the doc. So I look at the ones that have thousands of hits, right? And then
Mhm.
I grab that and I throw it on the doc, and then I do another filter or I open in a bunch of tabs, and usually I ended up most weeks I end up 20 things, and then I filter out from there. But this week it was like this was it. that whatever we talked about, those are the stories,
Okay.
including the ones we talked about on the topic of the show. So
Dan, we're closing in on the 1 hour mark. What do you say we just go for like the shortest episode possible? Then let's go for it.
oh, we've done. I think we did like a one. I think we did like a 58-minute episode one time or something, but
Mainline.
like towards the beginning. I would have to go back and look at it, but it would have been like in our first few months when we're still trying to have like a very short. Remember that?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I want to say
let's
like the
let's keep it
shortest
going.
one was like an hour 20, but whatever. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the games. So, I'm not gonna lie, Dan. I have played not a damn thing this week. Not even Fortnite. Not even Smash. I have nothing to report. Oh, actually, you know what? Quick battle bus. I folded. I went ahead and spent V-Bucks. Didn't even plan out. Like I didn't even make it to June 1st. Like it's
I am
just.
so surprised.
You're
I am
not.
beyond shocked.
And all I did was bought just the Beast Boy skin. That's it. And yeah, I'm at like 80 presets made, even though I could totally have all 100 made, but I haven't. I'm just so lazy. So I have all my DC characters all bunched up together, all my Marvel characters bunched up together. So I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, that's all I got to say as far as where I'm at is I just logged in, spent the V-Bucks, and then got the scan, and then logged out. I didn't even play a game. Like that's how terrible I am. Luckily,
Or
luckily for you,
I was
Dan,
looking into this. Go
you
ahead.
played a game for us, so I'm happy for you. So go ahead.
Yes. Well, I was looking at our episode running times on Anchor, and then yes, I was right. So there's episode 5, Valentine's Day Gaming, the first one. We did it in an hour and 6, and that's our record. So that aside, then probably the shortest one would have been an hour 20 something, because most of the other ones are a lot longer than that. But yeah, there's that one outlier there. I would have been in the same boat where I wasn't playing much, but then I decided to go out and get Resident Evil 8 yesterday. In fact, Leah went out and got it for me while I was working. So thanks, Leah, for that. And I started playing it last night, and I played it for about an hour. Now, granted, I have not played Resident Evil 7. I have not played Resident Evil 6, 5, 2 or 3 remake. I am not the Resident Evil fan. That was Dallas. is not here anymore. I played Resident Evil 4 on the Wii when I was like 13 and or maybe younger than that when I was like 12, I don't know. And my uncle who was 5 years older than me, he was the one doing most of the playing. So I would like play a little bit and then I would get too scared and then my uncle would take over and he would play for hours and then I'll watch him play. But I still like I really enjoyed that experience. It was almost like kind of like a sharing the love worthy experience, perhaps. And I don't remember actually if we beat. I don't think we beat the game, but we did play it for like he was staying with us for a week and we're playing it every day. So I think we put like 20 hours into the game or close. And so I have this fondness for Resident Evil 4, but that's it. And then I played 7, the demo. So that's all my experience with Resident Evil. But this one, I like the trailers. I thought, the theme of it seemed very interesting and unique. It looked to me like it was some kind of like a more standalone story where there's none of that umbrella corporation bullshit and all that stuff. At first glance, it looked like okay, so like this dude is in a village, they're vampires, werewolves, something. It almost seemed like a more of like a standalone game that I could get into. Like it's not even numbered really. It's Resident Evil Village. I know the village makes it look like a 8 in Roman numerals, but the official name of the game is just Resident Evil Village. So that's one of the reasons why I felt like invited to get into it, and also with the whole conversation on social media, everybody's what is it called? Oh, everybody's simping for the vampire lady and all that
Yes.
crap. So I was like, that's not the reason why I got the game though, but think whatever you want about that. So I got it, started it. First thing the game does is after you adjust your brightness and all that crap, it goes, hey, we you should have played Resident Evil 7 before this. So if you didn't, do you want to watch a summary of it? And I said that I felt, Lewis, it was one of those moments where I felt divided. I was like, I don't know. Should I? It's going to spoil the game. Then, I'm probably not going to want to play it then, but I want to play it, but I don't want to. I just bought Resident Evil Village. I want to play that right now. So ultimately I said yes. I watched the video. And then the game starts with this very, how those games go. Like they start like very friendly. It's like everything's okay, or there's maybe some issues, but mostly okay. And then there's an inciting event like 10 minutes into the game. Pretty intense, actually. Pretty intense. Caught me off guard. Inciting event. And then you go on an adventure.
And
then it starts.
I already know what the inciting event is, and I just want to say that it completely undermines the last game. But whatever.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And then I know a lot of people are upset about like the character's reaction to the inciting event as well, which I agree with because it's like this horrible thing happens in this guy's life, and he's like, oh no, okay, and then he just kind of like game skips to the next thing, and then you're just kind of on the mission. It feels like there's something lacking in there, like we needed that, like that The Last of Us Part 1, like the emotional moment, the performance, the Troy Baker performance there, but we didn't get that. It's just kind of, no, we don't have time. Let's go. Game starts. So game looks beautiful. I'm struggling a little bit with the controls, just in the sense that like you get your first gun, and then I was like struggling with aiming and like taking care of these enemies. It's definitely not like at first. It definitely doesn't start as an action game, at least, where it's like you find a pistol with like 5 bullets, right, and then you gotta kill this one enemy, and if you miss a few of the bullets, you're gonna struggle. And I did because I'm not the greatest at shooters in general. Um, and then you have to go and then you find more enemies, you gotta hide and you find some more bullets, and um so I'm still kind of getting into the groove of the game. I feel like my first experience was positive, albeit a little bit frustrating, and I am worried, Lewis, that I might have to put this bitch down to Yeezy to to actually have a good time with it, because the first encounter where I found myself kind of like just like missing a lot and then like dying, I got pretty frustrated and quit the game. So we'll see. I'll probably get back to it between now and next episode, and then we'll see whether I still feel the same way or not. But yeah,
I wonder, like, if aiming feels better on next gen, because people say that they can tell the difference in aiming when you're aiming in 30 frames versus aiming in 60 frames. Like, it's like a
well, I am playing it on next gen. By the way, I'm playing it on the Series X.
ah. Okay. For
And
some odd reason, I thought it's a. Why I don't know why, but I keep forgetting that it's Xbox as well. Like I keep thinking of it as a PlayStation 4 or PS5 only game in my head.
it's because it's a Japanese game, right? Like, and I feel like we've grown to associate Japanese games with Sony, like Japanese RPGs and Square
Capcom,
Enix
yeah.
and Capcom and all that stuff. But no, I got it on Xbox because I've had no qualms about saying this on the show before. Since I have a PS4 Pro and now an Xbox Series X, and I don't have the PS5 yet, that makes my next gen machine or my current gen machine really the Xbox. Because of that, I have bought every game on Xbox that I could since I got it. So yeah, I am playing on an Xbox. I feel like it might be onto something though. It's like something about it just felt maybe it's because we were just playing Halo not too long ago, and the shooting just feels very different. It feels like slower. It's not like as responsive. But maybe those are just excuses. I'm
Well, I
I'm
mean,
bad at shooters in general.
I think their game. I think Resident Evil. I know about Resident Evil 7. Like their controls feel tanky on purpose because that's how they're designed.
Yes. Yes. So I didn't like that very much. Like and it's also like the build up, right? Like so like with Halo, it's just like you're just kind of shooting the shit. You're just like running around having fun, right? Like completely different type of game, and you're chill. With Resident Evil, it puts you in that tense spot where you're nervous and like you're worried and sweating and stuff, and then suddenly like this comes out on screen, and then you gotta react quick, and then it's like
Also, I think you can
it's
even go
easier
to
to miss.
the pause the game and go to your settings and change it so you get rid of that momentum one. Because like, let's say you go like left to right, sometimes you have to it accelerates. You know, like it starts it gives you like friction and then it goes like like a sway. Whereas you can turn that off and it's uh one smooth motion where you just sort of like just
Yeah, that's a good point. I have a feeling that if I play with the settings a little bit and I fuck with the sensitivity, that maybe I'll get better at it. But yeah, like right now, like in the first, other than like you got like a first encounter where you just kill like one enemy, but then the encounters after that, I've been kind of struggling with. But we'll see.
yeah. Okay, cool. Dan, I believe it is your time to take over the show.
What are you buying?
That is right. So let's go through our stuff in here as soon as I pull it up, which is going to happen really fast. In fact, Lewis, I'm looking at the screen. So um, fuck. Can you just kill time for 30 seconds?
Sure. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that this is like a really awesome podcast. I'm feeling very relieved that we're having a shorter episode. It's kind of new to me. It's very foreign, by the way, not having
Yeah, we've been
these.
having like 2 hour shows for a while now. Um, okay, so we got it. We got it. It's here. All right, cool. So new releases. What's coming out over the next week? We're gonna start with Knockout City coming out on May 21st on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Team up and duke it out with rival crews in Knockout City, where you settle the score with epic dodgeball battles. Brace yourself for outrageous fun and intense competition, an all-new take on a team-based multiplayer game. Customize your character and form a crew with friends to start your Knockout City takeover. Knock your opponents with trick shots and coordinate teamwork while dodging and catching balls flying across the map. No ball, no problem. You can literally ball up, roll into a teammate's hands, and become the ultimate weapon. Interesting.
So, just wanted to throw this out here, but Knockout City was first introduced in a Nintendo Direct, and it was one of like the worst standout games where it's like, oh my god, it's like Splatoon dodgeball or whatever, you know. So it's like, at first people thought it was a Switch only game, but then it was later showed up re-revealed at a PlayStation State of Play. So. Knockout City is definitely one to look at. I don't know why no one's talking about it, but when it first got revealed, people were hyped about it. But now it's sort of just it's been quiet on them from a marketing perspective or
Yeah, disclaimer.
mind share. Yeah.
Yeah, disclaimer, this is an EA game and I'm an EA employee. I get the vibe that there's just too many games like this, like with that Fortnite art style, a third person multiplayer, kid friendly kind of
there
game.
was even like a ninjas or a ninja one, like a ninja Splatoon. I forgot what it's called.
Yes, yes. It wasn't Ninjago or something like that.
No, that's a whole
And
different
then
thing. But yeah, it's like a ninja Splatoon. Let's just call it that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was EA's own Rocket Arena, which was
Oh
also
yeah.
kind of similar. So yeah, there's been a lot of games kind of like that coming out. But yeah, this looked cool. I agree with you. Is this? Do you want to look up if this is free to play or not while I keep reading the list?
Sure.
Um, we also got Metopia coming out on the Switch on May 21st. Cast your friends, family, or anyone you choose in a comedy-filled adventure to bring down the face-stealing Dark Lord. Create and customize Mii characters, assign them roles, and watch them come to life. Laugh along as your best friend and dear old grandma team up in the fantasy adventure of a lifetime. Have a blast with new features, including an adorable horse Paul, Pal, wigs and makeup, and more on the Nintendo Switch system. I don't know what's up with my English today. Um,
So,
I remember when
um,
Metopia came out on the 3DS. What were you gonna
yes.
say?
Yes, I was gonna say I thought Metopia was already out on the Switch because I remember seeing like YouTubers like give like preview coverage and stuff. So and yes, that it was a 3DS. I don't know if it was a hit or if it was one of those like cult hits where it's like, oh, the people that got it talked about it. You know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Rust comes out on PS4 and Xbox One on May 21st. Biomutant comes out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on May 25th. Biomutant is an open world post apocalyptic kung fu table RPG or Fable RPG with a unique martial arts style combat system, allowing you to mix melee shooting and mutant ability action. A plague is ruining the land, and the Tree of Life is bleeding death from its roots. The tribes stand divided, explore a world in turmoil, and define its fate. Will you be its savior or lead it to an even darker destiny?
Okay.
And then we got also on May 25th, Final Fantasy 14 comes out on the PS5. King of Seas comes out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Maneater comes out on the Switch, that is the shark game. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remastered comes out on PS4, Switch, and PC. Then on May 27, we got Earth Defense Force World Brothers coming out on PS4, Switch, and PC. Oddworld Collection coming out on the Switch. The Idolmaster Starlit Season coming out on PS4 and PC. And The Longest Road on Earth coming out on PC.
So I didn't even know that uh, the Nocturne Shin Megami Tensei 3 was coming out on PlayStation 4. For some odd reason, because it was on the Nintendo Directs and stuff, I actually thought it was a Nintendo exclusive remaster. So that's interesting. As far as Knockout City, it's gonna MSRP for $20. So
Oh, okay. Which on the thing that you were just talking about, Lewis, I think it's interesting how that happens, right? Where certain third-party games get shown at a specific publisher or specific platforms, E3 conference or direct or presentation or whatever, and then you just tend to associate those games with that platform and to maybe even think that they're exclusive in your head, even if they didn't say that, right? So you mentioned that with Resident Evil, which the interesting thing is that I just remembered is that Resident Evil Village was first shown at the PlayStation 5 review event,
yes,
right? So it makes sense that you would look at it as a PS5 game. Knockout City, like you said, was shown in a
Switch.
Nintendo Direct. So yeah, that makes sense.
Wow, I am so like that happened 3 times in this one in this one segment. I don't think I'm more informed about these things, but I don't know why. Like these I'm not the kind of guy that these little petty tricks fall for, you know what I mean? Like I do my homework. So that's kind of fucked. It's
Mhm.
kind of crazy that it just like I don't know, I guess I'm just losing it. I'm losing my edge. I feel like I'm losing my edge.
You're good. You're good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
So this is the Broke Gamers Guide, where we walk you through the best gaming deals of the week. We're going to start with the free games in the Epic Game Store. The free game right now is NBA 2K21, free from now until May 27th. And let me pull this sucker up
By
here.
the way, that was
NBA,
it was the mystery game that they had locked behind closed doors last week. So yeah.
yes, which last week you said mystery game, and then I tried to make a joke and I said LA Noire because LA Noire is a game about mystery. That's what I was trying to
Uh,
say, but I don't think anybody got it, and then
Nobody
I just
did.
kind of looked stupid. Um, NBA 2K21 is the latest release in the world-renowned best-selling NBA 2K series with exciting improvements upon its best-in-class gameplay, competitive and community online features, and deep varied game modes. NBA 2K21 offers one-of-a-kind immersion into all facets of NBA basketball and culture, where everything is game. Now, Lewis, isn't this the game that where there was some controversy because it was $70 or more?
Yes.
Last year it was like the first game to come out with $70, and
It was $60 on last gen, $70 on current gen, and I think you had to buy like the $80 version, like a special edition version on like the last gen, in order to get the free upgrade on the next gen. So yes,
right, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and if you didn't buy it and you waited just 6 months, you can just get it for free on the Epic Game Store now. So
because that's what
um,
we love about PC gaming is when you want to play with the mouse and keyboard, you think NBA 2K21.
well, to be fair, a lot of people are PC gamers and play with controller though.
I know,
You can just plug a controller on your PC and pretend it's a console. So
I know.
um,
I'm just bullshitting, but yes.
talking about Knockout City, a new Epic Game Store promotion knocks $10 off every game, priced $15 plus. So the Epic Game Store is currently running a promotion which gets you $10 off when you buy any game costing at least $14.99. The promotion coincides with the launch of the Mega Sale, which is offering up to 75% off various titles on the Epic Game Store. And the $10 discount is valid on sale items if they meet the minimum qualifying spend. So here's the thing here. Here's what you gotta look at, Louis, is that if you go through the Epic Store Mega Sale, there's already so many games that are discounted. If you find a game that is $15, right, you can get $10 off of it and only pay $5 for it. So there's a possibility that you can get some really good deals here for very cheap. Now, I have not looked at the, let's see, let's look at the sale here. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, $44.99. With $10 off of it, you could get it for $35. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind is 4019, so you could get $10 off of that. Oddworld Soulstorm, $40, you could get it for 30. Outriders, 45, you could get it for 35. Red Dead 2, 40, you could get it for 30. GTA 5 Premium Edition, this is potentially one of the best deals. So $16.49 with $10 off, you could get it for $6.49. So just a good idea to go and take a look at the Epic Games Store and see what you can do there right now, because you might be able to get some games for really, really cheap.
It's trying to make go at the Steam audience, So, however,
Yes.
Steam is all about those Steam sales.
And talking about Steam, we got an Annapurna Interactive sale on Steam up to 75% off most Annapurna published games. That includes The Outer Wilds for just $15, One Remains of Edith Finch for $7. I played that game. I'd recommend it. Gorgoa for $4.49, If Found for $8.70, Florence for $2.99. I played that on mobile. I probably recommend playing that on mobile. I don't think it would really work as well as a PC game. The Unfinished Swan for $8.99, Flower $174. I didn't even know that was associated with Annapurna. Actually, maybe they published the PC version. Donut County $3.89. That game is really fun. I played it on Game Pass. Wadum $9.99. Telling Lies $79. Telling Lies is the second game by the developers of Her Story, or it's like the spiritual sequel to Her Story. So that game is on my list. I actually want to play that eventually. Let's see what else. There's plenty here, right? So we got Journey, Ashen, Maquette, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Lots of good stuff. Go check that out.
Annapurna, damn, they did the damn thing when it comes to publishing these games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you got Annapurna Interactive on your your team. So there you go.
They're the publishers of the quality indie games nowadays. It's like the ones that people talk about, the artsy, like cool, like 2-hour experiences. A lot of those are Annapurna now. So
okay. All right. I guess it's time to sign off. So let's do this. So it is time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Press Play. Remember, you can reach the podcast at ReadyPlayNetwork.com or simply at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88. And Dan.
At the Dan Lima. Lewis, you're gonna have an easy time editing this
I know,
one.
right?
Short episode, no disconnects. It's gonna be easy.
Yes.
Nothing to cut out.
Thank you so much for changing your PC to a Mac of all things. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, tell your friends about the show, and all that good stuff. See you next time.
Bye bye.